Next project up, we're going to be installing our dual lead wiring harness on our newer 4-inch aux beam pods that we just put on the roll bar on the Isuzu PUP truck. Let's get started. So we're installing the wiring harness for the 4-inch pod lights next, and I have the relay for the switch and harness right here. I just mounted it to a bolt there that mounts to the windshield wiper fluid bottle. And the two wires here go to the battery terminals, and I believe I can just mount them on the side terminal posts. This has dual post options, which is nice. And I'm just running the cable behind the jack bracket over the fender well through here, and I have to find a way to get this, which is part of the wiring harness. This goes to the switch right here. It's a two-part cable connection. Get this through the firewall, then you connect the switch, which has a wire harness on that to this, and then I have to run this through there also. It needs to go to the lights, so I need 2 entry points for 2 cables, and I'm going to figure that out right now, what I'm going to do there. So I routed the light switch cable to the fog lamps through the firewall, and as you can see, there's already a factory access plugged hole right there next to the heater box. All I had to do was pull the plug out, slice the rubber plug, turn it into a little Pac-Man, put the cable in the hole, put some blue rubber sealant, silicone sealant, to hold it back in place, bond it nice and tight, seal it real good. That's done, and that's as far as I got on that, because I'm going to have to drill another hole somewhere in here for the rest of these light cables, the ones that go to the pods. I think I'm going to run them inside to the cab and around the back seat, because there's an access panel centered behind the cab down in the floor of the bed, near the floor of the bed, and just drill a hole through the cab down there and run the cable through there, and kind of up the roll bar pipe all the way up to the lights. Now I have another project started here, which is I'm putting in an oil pressure gauge, digital oil pressure gauge, a cheap one from China. You gotta appreciate the work that the Chinese do in auto parts industry, and they are cheap. I think I got it for around 18-20 bucks. That's a pretty good deal. You get the digital gauge, and you get the sending unit. Now this sending unit, the threads on the sending unit are not 1/8 inch NPT threads, which is what I needed. I don't know what the thread size. It's like a 10 millimeter 1.0 or something threads. I'm not sure exactly what the size of the threads are, because I couldn't find a match for the threads at the hardware store. But I have 1/8 inch NPT threads on my adapters, and so what I did was I have an extra engine adapter for the sending unit, so I have 2 of them, you can see right there, because I have the original engine and all the parts. So I just inserted the instead of taking out the one that's in the engine, I decided it would be best to just retap the thread hole in one of the adapters to match the size of the threads on the sending unit, and just reinsert it with some sealant. And I had the tap. I had a 1.25 10 millimeter 1.25 tap, which was pretty close, but not exactly the right size. But the sending unit does screw in at least halfway, and it becomes tight, and I just threw some sealant on it and tightened it up, called it good. And I saved myself, a little money there, I would say. And so that's done. The oil pressure sending unit is in right there, and all I have to do is hook up the I need to find some extension wire, because the cable that they gave me, and I'll show it to you right here. See if we can hook this up in here somewhere. This is the cable that they gave to me. It's about 18 to 20 inches long. This part plugs into the back of the gauge, which is a really nice hookup, nice easy hookup. The green wire goes to the sending unit. I believe the black, let me see where that goes. If the instructional is out. Not that one. Oil pressure gauge. Green to sending unit. Red to ignition switch, 12 volt. So splice it in. Doing a hot wire somewhere in the ignition. And the black wire goes to the battery, it says. Now I don't see a fuse. There's no, what's that? I don't see a fuse kit anywhere for this kit. So I think I'm going to have to buy an inline fuse, and I'm not sure, maybe a 5 amp fuse or something. Because look at this, the size of these wires. Those are pretty small wires. They look like good wires, good conductive wires though. I'm not sure what size of fuse to use, but I am going to put an inline fuse yeah, I'll figure that out along the way. So that's all I got for you right now, and we're getting things done here over at Little Pup Auto Repair. And that's it. So we'll talk to you next time.